Hi, I'm Greg.
And I'm David, and we're with Malta Dynamics.
And today we're answering your fall protection questions that were submitted through our website. The first question is, I've noticed some guys at work are using the front D-ring of their harness to hook up to a self-retracting lifeline. Is that okay to do?
So the first thing to note when you're looking at a full body harness, you have a couple different places on the front of your body that you can actually attach to. So you have the front D-ring, which is typically be around your belly button area, and then you have your sternal D-ring, which is going to come across your sternum, across your chest. So the first thing you need to know is when you're going to use each one of these. So with the frontal D-ring, these are going to be only used in ladder climbing systems. So where there's no free fall possible, you can use your frontal D-ring for ladder climbing systems.
Yeah, and so that's mostly for ladders that are in fixed positions with a vertical lifeline assembly that's been engineered to work, or also tower climbing.
So the next one we're going to look at is the sternal D-ring, which is coming across your chest. These here actually have some fall arrest applications you can use these in. So if you can guarantee your free fall distance is less than 2 feet and that a back D-ring tie-off is infeasible or dangerous, you can use your sternal D-ring for fall arrest tie-off.
It's always a great idea to consult the user manual for your harness that has that front D-ring and check your internal company policies to make sure that you're complying and that your back D-ring is not the best solution. The next question is, what is the best fall protection gear for working in trenches?
So when working in a trench, you want to really look at the size of the trench and determine whether that's considered a confined space, what your hazards are going to be, your fall hazards. So if you're walking around the side of a trench, obviously you might fall into the trench. So that may be where you need a full body harness and things of that nature. Really, it's looking at it as a confined space. You're still going to be in a full body harness. However, you're going to be hooked up to a self-retracting device with a rescue capability. So it's going to be a winch. So if you were to be downed in the hole or the trench, have an issue with the trench, they can raise you up out of that trench with the 3-way retractable.
Yeah, and there are some fall hazards with some trench work, but generally the confined space rescue is the thing to worry the most about. Now, Malta Dynamics offers a product called the X250 that's generally used to be placed over an edge to provide anchorage. A trench has an edge, and so you can provide anchorage over that. But this is equipped with our self-retracting lifeline with rescue capabilities, so it provides a really nice rescue and anchor point for both fall protection and confined space rescue.
It's important to note that working near a confined space or a trench, that you're not tying off at foot level, because typically you're not going to have ample fall clearance between the walking working surface and the bottom of that trench, confined space, or things of that nature. The third question is, am I able to alter my fall protection devices?
So this is an interesting one, and it can be very broad. The answer could be yes or no depending on what you want to do. Most of the time, no is a good default. I just had a conversation on the road with a fellow who was a steel worker, and he had a beam clamp that he deemed to be just a little bit too bulky for the situations that he was working in. And so he used tools to manually shave down the material on the flanges of that clamp. I let him know that it's likely that what he did to that clamp would render it completely ineffective in a fall, and it certainly wouldn't pass any inspection to be used.
It's important to note that these fall protection devices are tested rigorously to ensure that they meet the OSHA or ANSI testing requirements. So by altering it, taking, as Greg mentioned, taking a piece of the steel off or aluminum off of the beam clamp, removing a D-ring off a full body harness, that testing is now null and void because you've altered the fit, form, or function of the product itself.
Yeah, and even in something as simple as wrapping tape around a piece of a safety harness or writing on it with a marker could alter the ability for that piece of equipment to work properly. So it's always a good idea to look at your user manual. If you don't see any specifics on what you can and can't do, and you really want to make those changes, those alterations, you need to call your manufacturer. You need to clear it with the supervisor or the safety personnel at your job before making any changes to any part of your fall protection.